Welcome back. The White House is betting big on Bidenomics as the president's 2024 campaign heats up and tries to tackle some lackluster approval ratings and dour views from voters on the future of the economy. The administration hoping to make the case the economy is strong, thanks in part to what it views as key economic legislation, including the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act. But as President Biden seeks to sell his economic vision, the question remains, will voters buy it? Joining me now on set is Amy Walter, publisher and editor-in-chief of the Cook Political Report.
Hey,
thank you for being here, Amy. Great to see you. So, Bidenomics, is this smart strategy or is it risky strategy? Could it backfire?
I don't think they have any choice but to go head on an issue that we know is front and center. Voters, when asked what their top issue is, point not just to the economy, but day-to-day costs. How much, obviously, inflation still impacting voters' opinions about the economy. Things are getting better. There's no doubt about that in terms of the direction that things are going, both in opinions about the economy and the fact that inflation is lessening. We have record low unemployment. But the opinion about Biden's handling of the economy, as you pointed out, just remains really low. And I think a lot of that has to do with something that has been a factor for the last few years and is only getting more relevant, which is partisanship. Think back when you don't have to even go back to the 80s with Ronald Reagan, but go back to even the Clinton era. Bill Clinton was impeached in 1998. His approval rating was 60%, in large part because people said, yeah, I don't like what Bill Clinton did, but I like the economy, and I'm going to give him credit for that. Now, that doesn't happen anymore. If you don't like the party of the president, you're not going to, even if the economy is good, you're not going to give that president credit.
You're unforgiving. Let's look at the polling. We just had it up. His job approval ratings at 42%, 54% disapprove. Look at his economy approval rating. 41% of registered voters say they approve of his handling of the economy. I mean, how tough are those numbers?
Yeah, those numbers could bump up a little bit or go down a little bit, depending, as you said, what the economy starts to look like as we get closer and closer to the election. So I think if you're the Biden campaign, you definitely want to go on the offense. If you notice, the sale of Bidenomics isn't just about how good the economy is, it's how bad Republicans are. He talked as much in that speech he gave, I guess it was over a week ago, about how Republicans were too focused on trickle-down economics and tax cuts for the wealthy, trying to make a case similar to what President Obama did in his reelection in 2012, which was, yeah, maybe the economy's getting better. It's not great yet. But if we put it in the hands of Mitt Romney, he's going to look out only for those who are the wealthiest and best connected. And the Obama campaign made the case that they were looking out for average Americans.
Well, and that is the question at the end of the day. If, in fact, former President Trump does win the nomination, in a head-to-head matchup, President Biden still wins at this point.
That's right.
By a little bit. One of the other big issues for voters, abortion. We were just talking about this. I mean, to what extent does he run the risk of over-indexing on the economy, not talking about those types of issues enough?
Oh, I don't think you're going to see that, and because I think this campaign is really clear, at least at this point, in making the case that this is going to be as much about Donald Trump, should he be the nominee, as it is about a re-election of an incumbent, making the case that, you know, we've already been through this President Trump. We know what we're going to get. And think about this. Donald Trump's approval ratings on the economy when he was president were pretty good. Yeah. And yet his party obviously lost the House, the Senate, and he obviously lost re-election.
Amy, the other big issue for President Biden is not just the economy, but his fitness for office. And I think we have some polls there as well. You have about 68% of voters who say they have major or moderate concerns. He's been trying to tackle this head on, even joking about his age. Right. Is that a smart approach? What do you anticipate we'll see from him?
And that's why I don't think you can completely separate opinions about how Biden is handling the economy with that poll number right there. Opinions about the president are also baked into how well they think he's currently handling the economy or how well he will continue to handle the economy should he be president. If 68% of voters are saying, look, I don't know that he maybe has the mental or physical fitness to do this for another 4 years, will another 1 point drop in inflation change that perspective? I don't really think so.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you about a big event here in Washington on Wednesday night, the Congressional Women's Softball Game. You're going to be playing in it. Tell us about it, Amy.
That's right. This is the 15th year. Here we are, 15th annual women members of the media up against a bipartisan group of women members of Congress. It is the only such event where there's a bipartisan coalition of members. It's on Wednesday night. If you're in Washington, D.C., come on down. Tickets are $10. All of it goes to support the Young Survival Coalition, which is a nonprofit dedicated to younger women with breast cancer. There's breast cancer awareness that is a major focus of this game. And over the years, over these 15 years, we've raised over $3 million for helping younger women who've had breast cancer and ensuring that young women do get tested.
A critical cause and such a fun night.
It's such a fun night.
Amy.
Thank you. Of course, you're cheering for the media.
Of course, we're cheering for the media. Of course. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.